China holds landscapes so rare that even the most seasoned travelers struggle to describe them. Places where science and beauty seem to share the same language. In the northwest, the ridges of colorful DANXIA, Gansu, rise like painted waves, each layer telling a story written by wind, time, and minerals deep beneath the surface. Farther south, the valleys of BAILI RHODODENDRON, Sichuan, burst into color each spring, transforming the mountains into one of Earth's most concentrated displays of living diversity. And high above the clouds, Mount EMEI Scenic Area, Sichuan, stands crowned by the golden statue of Samantabhadra, a symbol of wisdom watching over mist, temple, and time itself. This is Secret China, a journey to understand not only how these mountains formed, but why they continue to inspire every soul that stands before them. Colorful DANXIA. At first glance, sweeping bands of color fold over the hills like layers of dyed silk, stretching across the valley until the eye can scarcely follow. Colorful DANXIA in Jiangyi, Gansu, sits at roughly 4,000 feet, between broad valleys and stony plateaus, with small streams and terraced fields hinting at human scale. Those layered stripes were formed over millions of years as sediment built up, compacted and weathered, then were sculpted by long-term erosion into the patterns we see today. The terrain combines undulating ridgelines, steep escarpments, and narrow gullies, where exposed strata reveal streaks of red, orange, and ochre in crisp, visible veins. A few freestanding pillars rise from the plain, some reaching nearly 300 feet, their banded faces carved into striking, almost architectural silhouettes. Morning and evening light skims across the slopes, amplifying contrast so the same ridge can glow warm one moment and take on a cooler tone the next. Travelers can experience the thrill of a hot air balloon ride, floating gently above the ridges to take in the full spectrum of colorful DANXIA's vibrant hues. Viewed from a distance, colorful DANXIA reads like a vast timepiece of stone, and stepping closer rewards patience with details only careful observation can uncover. Mount EMEI Scenic Area. Snow blankets the summit, softening rocky ridges and pine branches into a silent, glistening white that stretches as far as the eye can see. Mount EMEI Scenic Area, Sichuan, soars to nearly 11,000 feet. Its upper slopes a mix of jagged rock and dense evergreen forest, dusted in winter frost. For over 2,000 years, pilgrims have braved harsh winters to visit the sacred temples, tracing paths worn into stone by countless footsteps. Wind sweeps across the snow-covered ridges, shaping drifts and stirring the bare branches of ancient pines, while clouds cling low over the peaks. The golden statue of Samantabhadra stands out vividly against the white landscape, a luminous sentinel amidst the frozen stillness of the mountaintop. Despite biting cold and icy paths, waves of devoted pilgrims move steadily along summit trails, their presence a testament to enduring faith and devotion. The interplay of snow, rock, and temple architecture casts a quiet magic, inviting contemplation and awe at the stark beauties surrounding each visitor. From this elevated vantage, Mount EMEI reveals both its sacred history and its natural grandeur, rewarding those who endure winter's chill with unforgettable vistas.
BAILI rhododendron. Bright red rhododendrons cascade across the steep slopes like living tapestries, their vibrant petals twisting along rugged cliffs, creating a sense of motion, serenity, and delicate harmony. BAILI rhododendron stretches across the western highlands of Sichuan, where layered mountains rise to altitudes of over 3,000 meters, forming an intricate maze of peaks and valleys that beckon exploration. For generations, local communities have revered this forest, preserving ancient legends and honoring the blooms as symbols of endurance and the cyclical beauty of nature. Sunlight filters through the dense flowers in the early morning, illuminating dew-laden petals and casting fleeting shadows that dance along the rocky terrain, enhancing the forest's ethereal quality. As hikers climb gently sloping ridges, the air carries the subtle scent of blooms and crisp mountain freshness, each step offering a quiet communion with the living tapestry beneath. Visitors pause to admire clusters of flowers shimmering like scattered jewels, sensing the harmony between human reverence and the pristine, untamed landscape that surrounds them. KULAGANGRI. Jagged peaks rise sharply into the sky, snow-laden slopes catching the first morning light, casting long, wavering shadows across the barren expanse. KULAGANGRI, deep in the heart of Tibet, soars over 24,600 feet, standing isolated amid endless stretches of frozen wilderness. For countless millennia, the mountain has remained untouched, its slopes shaped slowly by wind, ice, and relentless cold, a silent witness to time. The ridges twist and fold into intricate patterns, each snow-covered crest reflecting a pale, cold glow, while fleeting gusts send tiny clouds drifting across the slopes. Sparse, rocky outcrops break the monotony of white, their sharp edges revealing the harsh geology and stark, forbidding beauty of this elevated landscape. Visitors ascend carefully, each step deliberate, enveloped in profound stillness that magnifies the mountain's solemn and sacred presence. The higher one climbs, the thinner the air and colder the wind, yet the panorama expands, offering views that are at once forbidding, awe-inspiring, and humbling. At the summit, surrounded by snow, mist, and the quiet whisper of wind, KULAGANGRI stands eternal, solitary and majestic, inviting reflection and contemplation. CHACHA Mountain. The early sunlight glides across the tiered cliffs, tracing every vein in the rock and making the slopes glow softly through the mist that lingers after nightfall. CHACHA Mountain, in the heart of Guizhou, rises with massive stone blocks stacked in layers, orderly yet still holding the untouched spirit of an ancient mountain. Over millions of years of tectonic movement, its structure has formed a gentle spiral, with rock layers resting upon one another as if moving slowly in silence. From afar, each surface shifts in tone with the light, sometimes a warm bronze, sometimes a cool silver, casting a quiet shimmer that feels alive. The ridges extend one after another, their curved lines wrapping around the slopes like ancient carvings left by an unseen hand. Travelers often pause to watch the stones change color beneath drifting clouds, sensing the patience of time etched into every small fracture.
From its summit, Chacha Mountain unfolds like an ancient monument of nature, where each rock seems to guard its own story of earth and time.
HUASHAN Mountain.
Knife-edged summits pierce low clouds, with morning sunlight grazing sheer cliffs and revealing every sharp ridge in vivid relief. Huangshan Mountain in Shanxi rises majestically, its vertical faces and narrow ridges forming one of the region's most iconic landscapes. For centuries, pilgrims and poets have climbed its peaks, leaving behind temples, carved steps, and traces of devotion etched into the stone. Steep ridges fold into deep gullies. Serrated spires and layered rock display the relentless work of tectonic forces and erosion over millennia. Sunlight shifts across the stone, changing tones from pale gray to warm bronze, while shadows creep into hidden crevices, hinting at ancient paths and temples. Visitors may take a cable car to the summit, but the real thrill comes from hiking along the narrow ridgelines, stepping carefully and discovering unexpected views. Every pause along the trail invites questions. What hidden shrines or inscriptions lie tucked within shadowed corners, waiting to be found? From summit to base, HUASHAN unfolds layer by layer, offering travelers the chance to trace each path, admire its temples, and absorb the mountain's enduring presence. Fanjingshan. Mist drifts among the jagged peaks, revealing sheer sandstone cliffs that rise abruptly, giving the mountain a sacred and isolated presence. Fanjingshan, located in Guizhou, reaches elevations of over 8,000 feet. Its rugged terrain marked by steep slopes and layered rock formations shaped over millions of years. The mountain has long been revered for its spiritual significance, with temples and shrines built along accessible ridges, drawing pilgrims throughout history. Wind and rain have sculpted the sandstone into spires and terraces, creating dramatic cliffs that catch light and shadow throughout the day. The Red Cloud Golden Summit crowns the highest point, a striking pinnacle often shrouded in mist, symbolizing the mountain's sacred energy. Narrow stone paths and carved steps
lead through forested slopes, offering hikers glimpses of temples, ritual markers, and panoramic views of valleys below. Occasional clouds float along the ridges, wrapping the peaks in a soft haze that enhances the sense of mystery and reverence. Visitors who walk the trails experience the solemnity of the site firsthand, observing the combination of natural grandeur and spiritual heritage. Huangshan remains a place where the mountain's majesty and sacred character converge, inviting travelers to appreciate its enduring beauty and history.
Mount Mian. Jagged peaks of Mount Mian rise sharply into the sky, their weathered faces layered and folded, showing centuries of patient geological shaping. Located in Shaanxi, Mount Mian reaches over 7,000 feet, its slopes steep and rugged, long revered for spiritual significance. Pilgrims have climbed its narrow paths for generations, leaving small temples and carved steps tucked amid the stone. Subtle hues of gray and ochre shift across the cliffs as light moves through the day, revealing hidden details in the rock formations. Steep ridges challenge climbers, while narrow terraces offer moments to pause, observe incense curling from the cliffside temples. From the summit, the panorama stretches across layered valleys, giving a clear sense of the mountain's age, structure, and enduring presence. DANXIA. Rugged cliffs rise sharply from the valley floor, layered in reds and oranges that mark millions of years of sandstone formation. DANXIA, located in Guizhou, stretches across a remote region shaped by tectonic uplift and erosion, forming its signature steep slopes and ridges. The area has long been admired by local travelers and scholars who noted its unusual rock formations and considered it sacred. Towering pillars and intricate rock shapes create natural corridors and lookout points, hinting at the patient work of geological forces over time. Visitors walking along the narrow paths can observe subtle shifts in color and texture, while morning mist or light drizzle sometimes adds a fleeting atmosphere. From higher viewpoints, the entire formation unfolds, inviting reflection on its ancient history and the remarkable endurance of the landscape.
Huangshan. Jagged granite peaks emerge from a blanket of mist, their irregular shapes forming silhouettes that seem carved by both time and imagination. Huangshan, in Anhui Province, rises to over 6,000 feet, known for its dramatic ridges, pine-covered slopes, and unique granite formations. The mountains have inspired poets and painters for centuries, becoming emblematic of classical Chinese landscape artistry and spiritual reflection. Sheer cliffs and narrow pathways wind through the peaks, while rock faces display layers and textures shaped by millions of years of geological uplift and erosion. Scattered pine trees cling to precarious ledges, their twisted forms accentuating the stark geometry of the granite and adding a subtle, living contrast. Visitors moving along stone steps can pause at various viewpoints, observing how light and shadow shift across the peaks throughout the day. The combination of rugged terrain, sculpted rock pillars, and intermittent cloud cover creates a sense of mystery and awe, inviting careful exploration. From the summit, the panoramic view stretches endlessly, encouraging reflection on both the natural forces that shape the landscape and the enduring human fascination with its beauty. Kanas. The turquoise waters of the lake stretch like a polished gem, reflecting the surrounding mountains and dense, coniferous forests in serene symmetry. Kanas, located in Xinjiang, sits at the northern edge of the Altai Mountains, with an elevation around 4,000 feet, shaped by glacial activity and river erosion. Its history traces back centuries as a seasonal home for nomadic herders whose traditions subtly color the landscape and local settlements. Surrounded by steep ridges and river valleys, the terrain is marked by rolling hills, scattered rock outcrops, and forests that shift in hue with the seasons. A small temple perches atop one of the higher ridges, a quiet sentinel overlooking the lake, adding a touch of spiritual presence to the wild scenery. The lake itself conceals hidden channels and occasional wildlife along its shoreline, giving travelers a sense of gentle discovery. Visitors walking the trails experience the quiet rhythm of the forest and the gentle sway of the water, sensing the harmony between nature and human presence. From elevated viewpoints, Canas unfolds in layers of green, gold, and turquoise, inviting travelers to ponder the enduring beauty and stories held within this remote landscape. Mount Putuo. Mist curls around jagged cliffs and pine-covered slopes, giving the landscape an ethereal quality that seems suspended between sea and sky. Mount Putuo, located off the coast of Zhejiang, rises to roughly 900 feet, forming one of the 4 sacred Buddhist mountains in China. Its spiritual history dates back over 1,000 years, with pilgrims visiting to honor Guanyin and perform traditional rites along winding paths. Steep trails and terraces wind through forests of cypress and pine, punctuated by weathered rocks shaped by centuries of wind and rain. A large Guanyin statue stands near the summit, its serene gaze overlooking the ocean and mountains, embodying the sacred spirit of the site. Small temples and shrines nestle into the cliffs, their red and gold roofs contrasting with the muted greens and grays of the natural terrain. Visitors can walk the steps from the base to the peaks, pausing at vantage points to admire the interplay of ocean mist and mountain contours. Monks and pilgrims moving along the paths offer glimpses of quiet devotion, their incense smoke mingling with the fresh sea air. From the highest points, Mount Putuo reveals a layered panorama of spiritual heritage and natural beauty, inviting travelers to contemplate both history and landscape. HUASHAN Mountain. The stone ridges of HUASHAN rise like towering walls of time, layer upon layer, as if the entire mountain was suspended in air, unchanged since its creation. Along its slopes, compressed sandstone reveals soft, wave-like folds that record millions of years of movement, giving each cliff a quiet, ancient rhythm. Narrow trails cling to the edges of the cliffs, winding between layers of rock, guiding travelers through a natural labyrinth shaped by gravity and wind. In the steeper sections, rope bridges link distant peaks, swaying gently above the void, turning each step into a moment of daring and awe. From afar, green patches thread through the stone, softening the red-brown tones and giving the mountain a living pulse beneath the drifting mist. Higher up, clouds press close, and sunlight moves across the cliffs, painting fleeting patterns of shadow and gold that shift with every passing breath. Together, these elements form a vast and tranquil vision, a place where rock, mist, and faith meet in the stillness of enduring time. Mount Longhu. Jagged cliffs rise like ancient scrolls unfolding in stone, their vertical faces carved by wind and time, as if revealing the hidden script of the earth itself. Mount Longhu in Jiangxi province stands as one of China's most sacred Taoist mountains, its name meaning dragon and tiger, symbols of balance and cosmic power. Formed from layered red sandstone, the landscape stretches in grand terraces and narrow ridges, shaped over millions of years by shifting water and eroding wind. Caves pierce the cliffs like dark windows to another age, once used as resting places for Taoist priests seeking stillness and the echo of divine voices. Stone pillars rise from the river's edge, slender and silent, reflecting on the calm surface like guardians that never left their post through centuries of change. Between them, the Luxi River winds gently, carrying mist that climbs the canyon walls and veils the peaks in a quiet, floating calm. Temples cling to impossible ledges, their roofs tiled in green, smoke drifting upward as if bridging heaven and earth in slow, silent conversation. Even from afar, the mountain's rhythm feels deliberate, each peak a gesture of faith, each valley a pause of timeless reflection. In this meeting of stone, water, and devotion, Mount Longhu remains not a monument, but a living sanctuary, shaped by belief and enduring stillness. Jianglang Mountain. Jianglang Mountain rises sharply, its three peaks forming a striking stepped structure that dominates the valley and shows the mountain's layered folds. The sandstone ridges twist and incline in distinct formations, each layer stacked over the next like natural terraces carved over millions of years. Vertical cliffs alternate with narrow ledges, creating dramatic lines that guide the eye from base to summit while revealing the mountain's complex geology. Some slopes curve gently, while others drop almost straight, highlighting the interplay between erosion and tectonic uplift that shaped these peaks. Travelers moving along the ridges can sense the deliberate arrangement of peaks and folds, feeling how nature sculpted both challenge and harmony into Jianglang's structure. Hailuogu. Hailuogu stretches along the eastern slopes of Gongga Mountain, its massive glaciers carving deep valleys and revealing the mountain's sharp, layered ridges. The rocky peaks rise abruptly, while moraine-strewn slopes and crevasses trace the gradual retreat of ancient ice, forming natural terraces of stone and ice. Steep cliffs and gorges alternate with gentler inclines, highlighting the interplay between tectonic uplift and glacial erosion that shaped these formations. Snowfields cling to the upper ridges, accentuating the jagged folds of the mountain and marking the line between permanent ice and exposed rock. Glacial streams cut through the lower valleys, weaving paths along moraine deposits and echoing the persistent movement that sculpts Hailuogu's structure. Visitors navigating the rugged trails can appreciate how the mountain's peaks, ridges, and ice flows create both challenge and awe, a testament to nature's design.
From the summit or along the trails,
every angle reveals the careful layering of stone and ice, inviting travelers to explore the mountain's enduring forms.
Shanhai Guan.
Massive stone walls rise along rugged cliffs, following the natural curves of the mountains, marking the point where land meets sea in Hebei. Shanhai Guan, Hebei, stands as a strategic pass of the Great Wall, historically guarding the eastern frontier against invasions. Constructed centuries ago, the fortifications have witnessed dynasties rise and fall, holding stories of soldiers and travelers alike. The mountains themselves twist in sharp ridges, their rocky slopes layered with sediment and dotted with sparse vegetation, emphasizing the fort's dominance. Stretching across the cliffs, the Great Wall snakes through valleys and over peaks, each segment a testament to careful engineering and resilience. Watchtowers rise at intervals, their angular silhouettes contrasting with the rounded natural stone beneath, offering commanding views of the surrounding land. Visitors walking along the ancient pathways can imagine patrols of soldiers long past, stepping carefully along the worn stones of the wall. The cliffs and wall together form a rhythmic pattern, with peaks and troughs accentuated by shadows moving with the sun's passage. Gaps in the wall reveal glimpses of the mountains beyond, where mist sometimes clings to the slopes, softening the harsh stone edges. Small temples and shrines tucked along the route provide quiet moments of reflection, reminding travelers of the spiritual as well as strategic significance. From elevated points, the wall stretches into the distance, curving over ridges like a silver ribbon, connecting history and landscape seamlessly. The site leaves visitors with a lasting impression of Shanhai Guan as both a natural fortress and a symbol of China's enduring heritage, inviting exploration along every step. Yunqiyu Mountain. Jagged peaks of Yunqiu Mountain rise sharply, their stone faces folding into layered ridges that reveal the mountain's ancient geological story. Located in Shanxi, this mountain has drawn travelers and pilgrims for centuries, its cliffs and slopes holding both natural grandeur and spiritual resonance. Formed through tectonic uplift and persistent erosion, the rock layers create steep slopes, scattered boulders, and ridges that challenge the eye and foot alike. Winding trails follow the contours, guiding hikers along ridges and through narrow passes, offering glimpses of hidden corners and unique rock formations. A small temple perches atop a higher outcrop, its presence lending a sense of calm and connecting visitors to centuries of religious devotion. Walking these paths, travelers can feel the rough texture of stone beneath their hands and the vastness of the peaks stretching into the sky. From various vantage points, ridges and folds appear sculpted by time, each bend and crevice telling the story of slow, persistent geological forces. At the summit, visitors are rewarded with a sweeping panorama, appreciating the interplay of rugged terrain and enduring cultural landmarks that define Yunqiu Mountain.
Meiji Mountain. The jagged cliffs of Meiji Mountain rise sharply from the valley, revealing layers of rock carved over thousands of years. Located in Gansu, this mountain stretches across rugged terrain, with slopes that challenge climbers and paths that invite exploration. Its history is etched in the stone, as Buddhist cave temples and ancient carvings mark centuries of devotion and artistry. The cliff faces display distinct sedimentary layers and folds, a testament to the mountain's tectonic past and natural erosion. Narrow trails cling to the sides of the ridges, allowing hikers to follow the contours and sense the raw scale of the rock formations. Small grottos and hidden niches offer moments of quiet reflection, blending cultural heritage with the grandeur of the peaks.
From higher vantage points, the overlapping ridges and sharp pinnacles create a rhythm of stone and shadow that captures the mountain's character. Travelers moving slowly along the paths can feel the texture of the rocks and notice subtle shifts in elevation, each step a journey through time. At the summit, panoramic views reward climbers with a sweeping landscape where natural beauty and human history converge, inviting lingering admiration.
Mount HUASHAN. Lying south of Jurong City in Jiangsu Province, Mount HUASHAN stretches across rolling hills where pine forests cover the slopes and mist hides the narrow valleys. From above, the terrain appears like gentle waves of stone and forest, with green ridges rising in uneven layers toward the horizon. A stone pathway climbs steadily upward, each turn revealing a wide view of the flatlands below that fade toward the distant Yangtze River. Midway up the mountain, ancient Taoist temples rest among the trees, their curved roofs glinting faintly in the sunlight that filters through the fog. At the summit stands a great bronze statue of Lao Tzu, calm and dignified, gazing eastward as a symbol of wisdom and renewal. Around the statue lie halls and meditation courtyards connected by wooden walkways, shaped carefully along the mountain's natural curves. Moss-covered walls and old stone steles carved with scriptures mark HUASHAN's legacy as one of the earliest centers of Taoism since the Eastern Han dynasty. When dusk arrives, the last light of the sun glows on the bronze surface, setting the entire peak aglow in quiet gold. Even now, HUASHAN remains a place of pilgrimage and reflection, where nature and faith continue to share the same enduring silence. Yulong Snow Mountain. Rising high above the city of Lijiang in Yunnan, Yulong Snow Mountain stretches like a silver dragon frozen in motion, its ridges cutting sharply across the sky. The mountain's 13 peaks are covered year-round with snow and ice, forming a vast glacial crown that gleams under the midday sun.
Lower slopes are wrapped in layers of pine forest and meadows, where the air grows thin and the light turns a soft, pale blue. Glacial streams carve through the valleys, leaving behind clear pools that reflect the peaks like silent mirrors of the past. At higher ground, the terrain turns harsh and stony, scattered with traces of ancient glaciers that shaped the mountain over millennia. Local Naxi legends speak of a white dragon guarding this land, blending myth and mountain into one living presence. On clear mornings, travelers can see the snowfields glowing pink with the first touch of sunlight, a scene both distant and near. Standing at the foot of Yulong, one feels the quiet weight of time resting upon the mountain's unchanging crown.